You're going to talk first, right?
It's already on. What up, everybody? Welcome to the fourth episode of On Blast. I got George with me as usual. Say hi to everybody.
What's up, guys?
I want to start the show off on a bit of a somber note. I'm going to do, and I don't want no text for the 10 bell chime for all the people that lost their lives the other day in Colorado. A senseless murder of a bunch of people, which, in my opinion, is absolutely stupid and without merit. To murder a 6-year-old girl is one of the most heinous acts I've seen in my lifetime, just because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. With that said, I'm going to do, like I said, a 10 bell chime for those that lost their lives. And as well, in the acting community, Sherman Helmsley, as an old person, he was Mr. Jefferson on the Jeffersons, passed away today. So pretty much with that, I'm going to give a 10 bell chime for the dead at Colorado. And with that said, today this show is packed. I've gotten a little flack from my host with me here for cramming so many people into this show.
Yeah.
We have Maxter, and I believe this is the first time Maxter has ever done a show live where he actually wasn't just in the chat. And he's going to be also working with us to translate for this other young buck out there. Perhaps you know him as the guy who whooped PL down. Gross from down in Dominican will be with us tonight. I also have the number 3, number 4 players and the organizers of the tournament that was down in the islands last week, and pretty much a bunch of Trinidadian guys that are top players that are now looking for some recognition that's well deserved, as well as a DJ from the Chicago area. He's a top MK player. He goes by the name of DQ. And it's going to be followed up with one of the KTP founding members who's looking to put a lot of people on blast, and that's going to be K7. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to reach out to somebody you might know from last week or the week before, Glenn the Cat, and GoldFishKeeper, who has a couple of things she's looking to share with everybody. While I'm doing that, I'm going to have George take the floor and talk about a couple other things.
All right, guys. Let's get a few announcements out of the way over here. Guys, how you doing tonight also? First announcement I would like to announce. We have now opened a YouTube channel. If you guys are interested in watching past episodes of the show, you can subscribe to us on YouTube at The On Blast Show 2012. The link is in the bottom in the info section in case you guys want to subscribe and catch the past episodes. I am currently in the process of uploading the episodes as we speak, so give it some time. Hopefully all the episodes should be up and running by the latest tomorrow night. Also, on some side notes here, me and James have decided to start up a group, and the group name is going to be called OBS, standing for On Blast Show. So from now on, when you see me, James, at a tournament, you will see the initials OBS in front of it, standing for the On Blast Show. Now, me and James being the original members and I guess founders of this group now, we do have one person who has joined this group already, and they are the third member of this group now. And we'd like to welcome OBS Guido. Now, most of you guys know him as a Freddy player. He lives out in Florida, but he is now the third member of the group and will be representing us in a future event. Sometime he sent me a message. I'll check that really quick. It was sometime in July 28th. He will be fighting at the Fighter's Spirit down in, I assume that's in Florida, representing us to the full extent. Also, guys, we have more information on the bottom. Please, if you can, click the Trip Sessions Facebook page. Click them, like them. You know, without them, you know, they're like a big supporter for us. There's a lot of things going on with them behind the scenes. We'll get into further details that in the future. Also, shouts out to Mortal Kombat United. If you guys have not noticed, if you go to the forum page on MK United, our stream is directly posted on there on the site. You can see it and chat in the chat box at the same exact time. So I'm going to give a shout out to this chat box, who I see people in there real quick. I see Boys, Evil Panda, Zane, Meat Hook. You know, we got a few people in this shout box right now talking. They're not talking about the show. They're talking about random things, but hopefully they'll be talking about the show. Also, guys, if you have any questions for us, just like last week, please send them to Twitter at the On Blast Show on Twitter. Send us your questions. We will read them live over the air for you guys to, you know, have fun with that, everything. You know, send us any kind of troll questions, even like with freaking, with Sonic Fox did last week. We had some very funny questions for him, but any kind of questions. You got questions for the guests, for me, James, you know, any kind of questions you'd like to ask, we'll try to get them out on the air, ask them, and you know, get you answers for these guys. So, we'll take it to our first. But James, do you have anything to say before I take it to our first guest?
Yeah, I just want to, like I said, I want to give a huge, absolute huge shout out to Gerchap at MKU for supporting this show, for every member at MKU supporting this show. Apparently, like I said, I tickled a pickle with the Illuminati, so, you know, I don't get the love that I'm getting at MKU, which is fine. Like I said, at the end of the day, I got no beef with them. Just, what's the saying? Just stay out of my way. Without the support of MKU and all the people that are in the stream, you know, this show wouldn't even be worth me coming home on a Tuesday night to do. But you guys make it all worth it, man. Without any delay, I want to introduce somebody who was on my show already once, and he's bringing his his, I guess it would be his caretaker. We have Glenn the cat. Is Glenn available?
Yep, he's right here.
So Glenn's talkative as always. And we have GoldFishKeeper, who, if anybody didn't know, is a player who is a female. I mean, a lot of people out there don't know what that is, but you know what? At the end of the day, she has some things she wants to get off her chest. And without any more delays, I'm going to let her have the floor right now. It's all you.
Hello.
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 I was on, I remember I was on the show last week and I had asked bird songs to first to 5 Jade Mirror, and I would put $50 toward her coming out to the next tournament she can. And unfortunately, she has other obligations and might not be able to do it. So I wanted to go ahead and extend this offer, challenge the GFK sponsorship here.
What is the GFK?
GoldFishKeeper.
Okay, so the GoldFishKeeper has their own sponsorship now.
I will put first to 5 me, the ladies of Test Your Might and Mortal Kombat United. First to 5 me, and I will put $50 towards you coming out to your next tournament. I know it's not much, but it's a tank of gas, it's a dinner or two, and hopefully it gets more women out on the scene.
In New York, that's almost 2 packs of cigarettes.
I know, I was out there, remember, and lost.
Yeah, well, you know, you're staying in the hood. What do you want?
Yeah, I was staying in that horrible 80s hotel. I was
Wow.
So everybody out there, Revolver wants dinner with goldfish. To all the ladies out there on MKU and Test Your Might, GoldFishKeeper is pretty much the first woman out there that is putting out money matches. It's happened in the Street Fighter community, but now it's starting to pick up here. I know I've run into a lot of decent players, a lot of women players out there that are good players. So, you know, get your little asses out there to the tournaments and take the opportunity to try and make a couple of bucks. Right now, I am going to bring in Maxter, and I'm going to bring in our number 2 guy, who's actually, technically in my eyes, our number 1 guy. Maxter, you with me? Technically in my eyes, our number 1 guy.
Maxter, turn on the stream volume.
Maxter, turn on the stream volume. Maxter?
Just did.
All right, I hear you
go.
better. And let me bring in my other man here. Where is he?
I hear the CD brothers are hard at work on Mortal Kombat back there.
Exactly.
Yeah, they play Mortal Kombat right for it and Crazy Dominican right now. Lower the volume a little bit.
Scarlet, you know.
Oh, I hear Crazy Dominican. He actually speaks.
Yeah.
All right, Darius, you here? Darius, turn your volume down.
Hey,
Hey.
Dad,
Yeah, Key. Okay. Maxter, tell him to turn his volume down.
Yes, they just did.
Okay.
Okay. All right, everybody. We got Gross, the man who put PL in his place, and we got Maxter with us. Maxter, I haven't had the pleasure beyond drinking with you having you on any shows before. I believe this is your first time you've been on a show.
Yes, definitely.
Yo, tell James.
Tell James, tell Junior that he likes fish sticks.
Yeah, he knows about it already. You heard Junior?
What did he say?
No, that we called you on Saturday night. Go to Patch.
Yeah, I know. At like 3 in the morning.
Yeah. No, it was like Why?
Hell no, it was one.
All right. CDJ, you're not on the show today, buddy.
Yeah, you're not on the show, Junior. You're kicked aside.
Let's not taking Max's spotlight right now. Let him talk.
All right, now Maxter, I know you've had some things you wanted to get off your chest as far as PL. I know you want to face him. Is that looking like it's going to happen at MLG or no?
I don't know. I want to face this guy, but he's always running away from me. And I don't want people to believe that I hate PL at all.
I don't think you know what. I don't think anybody hates PL. You know, I mean, it's just a matter of the competitiveness of players. You know, but you know when somebody like Darius comes by, you know, and comes from out of nowhere and beats PL, it just makes him look a little bit more human. His performance at Evo was pretty much flawless.
James, give me a second. It's breaking up. Somebody has something on.
That's what I said. I got Darius. You got Darius to tell him in español.
Gross, baja todo el volumen, caiga por tu casa, por favor. El show, baja el show. Nada más ten el Skype.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's better.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm going to start, before I go back to Maxter, ask him what it was like for him to beat PL.
Gross, ¿cómo tú te sientes por haber ganarle a PL, a Perfect Legend?
Muy bien, muy bien.
Just like it feels pretty good.
So, I mean, now when he went to that tournament, did he have expectations of winning the whole thing, or did he go there with just the intent of having a good time?
Si cuando tú fuiste al tournament, ¿tú fuiste para allá precisamente a ganar el torneo o solamente a pasarla bien?
No, básicamente a ganar el torneo.
He said he went there basically to win the tournament. He was determined.
He definitely proved himself to be a top player that came from out of nowhere, which brings me to the point of once again beyond the UK and the US. You know, tell him to turn his volume down again because he's still coming off.
Yeah, we're hearing stuff from his background.
Yeah, hay un volumen en el background. Eres tú, Gross. Hay como un volumen de algo. Nada más ten el Skype abierto.
Sí, eso es lo único que tengo abierto.
Tú puedes poner el show en Twitch TV, pero bájale el volumen completamente.
Ok, yo lo bajé normal. No
Hay
hay
gente
más
en tu
nada
casa
abierto.
alrededor.
Sí, hay gente en mi casa, o sea, afuera en la sala.
Oh, ok. Nada, no me gustaría decirte que le diga a ellos que se vayan para otro lado, pero tú puedes decirle que tú tengas un show, a ellos, a tu familia, quien sea que está hablando.
Esta televisión, dame chocolate. Or cuerpo de deseo. Pretty much, you know, like I said, what I want to get is now ask him. He's coming to MLG, correct?
¿Tú vienes para MLG, Gross?
Sí, eso creo.
Yes, he said that there is a possibility.
Okay, so if he comes to MLG, who does he look at to be his biggest competition?
Gross, si tú vienes a MLG, ¿quién tú crees que sea tu mayor competición?
Ninguno.
He said nobody.
Nobody. Ay, sounds like a Dominican PL right now.
Yeah. He's a little cocky right now because he beat PL. No, he's always like that.
Hey, you know what? Es bueno. Es bueno este player perfecto con Perfect Legend. Ahora yo pagado usted un $100 por the bounty the tournament I promised I pay him $100 for knocking PL out.
¿Lo entendiste, Gross? Lo que te dijo.
Sí, ajá.
Okay.
So for the guys out there, yes, I speak low tier Espanol, guys. I'm paying Gross $100 because I put a bounty out in that tournament for the person that knocked out PL. Right now, it looks like he's going to be coming to MLG, and you guys heard him straight here. He says ain't nobody going to be his competition. I gotta say, when he played PL, he didn't use no tricks. He played pretty defensive. Is that the way he normally plays, by countering, or does he have other play styles he uses?
You want me to translate that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Gross, cuando tú peleaste a Perfect Legend, normalmente tú juegas así de defensivo o tú tienes otro estilo de juego también.
Yo tengo otro estilo de juego, lo que pasa era que eso era un torneo y yo me lo hallaba un poquito difícil al comienzo, entonces me resultaba difícil tratar de contrarrestar cualquier movimiento porque tenía miedo a que me pudiera hacer un daño por meter un golpe que no iba en el momento.
Yeah, he said that he normally play aggressive, but since he knew he was playing against good players, he was afraid of getting punished, and that's why he was always so defensive and waiting for the right moment to strike.
Now we know he mains obviously Sector. Who else does he use on a normal?
¿Quién más tú usas aparte de Sector?
Cyrax y Smoke.
Oh, Cyrax and Smoke. Oh.
No Baraka?
No.
Fucking mierda. Baraka es fantástico. Número uno.
Yeah, number one Scarlet.
So now, some of the questions that we've got coming. You got some questions, DarKNaTaS?
Yeah, I got one right now. Question for Gross from Claude Von Stroh. Why did PL get denied player one advantage when he had lost the first set, even though it's his right to ask after losing?
Can you repeat that again, please? NaTaS to translate. This guy, Junior, wait. This guy being a little loud here.
From Claude Von Stroh, he asked, why did PL get denied player one advantage when he lost his first set, even though it's his right to ask after losing?
¿Por qué le negaste el control número uno a PL cuando él tiene la preferencia de cambiar de controles después que se resetea un set?
No, porque a mí no me habían explicado eso y eso es sinceridad, yo no tenía que ver con eso y yo no tenía razón por qué darle el player 1. ¿Por qué? Porque él es un bonito.
Él dijo que esa regla él nunca le había oído. Bueno, normalmente no se ve, esto nunca se ha visto en Mortal Kombat después de resetear un set tampoco. Y él no le iba a dar. Oh my God, I'm translating Spanish. Oh, what the fuck. He said that normally he has never seen this rule before. He wasn't aware of it. And he wasn't just gonna switch players after he was on player one already. That will break his concentration a little bit possible. And also he wasn't given the player one because he was a pretty guy, or he was the evil winner or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's right. I mean, I've never seen people,
I've been playing in tournaments or tournament-like environments for over 20 years. I have never heard, and I'm not trying to troll on PL, but, every tournament that we've been to, Maxter, me, you, DarKNaTaS, anybody that's been out, I've never heard somebody actually ask for it. Ever. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. Same thing.
Usually the rules that MLG is using, they are assigning player one, to either of the players. It's not that you can switch controller after a grand finals being resetted. That's never been stated before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. MLG, they do tell you where to sit okay, you're gonna get player one this time. But I never heard of, maybe PL was confused.
I mean, if it's a rule that, obviously can't be ignored. But you also got to remember, and this is my opinion, all right? I'm not trying to blast Triforce. I'm not trying to blast any of the players that went down to the islands. But the problem is a lot of players in the States, and, from listening to Triforce say that during casuals, PL was 184-0. I basically think that they were going down there for a cakewalk. But, basically the fact that player one advantage had absolutely zero to do with it. And anybody that says that it actually made a difference obviously never played and understands player one advantage. All it is on even exchanges, player one will outdo, I believe it's 7 out of 3 times, not even 100% of the time. And the way I watched Gross play, there wasn't much footsies. It was all counters, uppercuts. It was straight old school MK1 style. And that's what beat PL. His aggressiveness got him caught. Step back, step forward, uppercut. If that's the case, and once again, I'm not, don't get me wrong, people out there, I'm not trying to put PL on blast. Well, then I'm going to take away, by denying, this was just Gross outplaying him, well, then PL won on player one on both sides. So are you saying that he only won because he was on player one? Both Evos he won on the player one side. Triforce is still down in St. Martin. I know. I don't think he can get back. I think he ran out of money. I think next year, I think we're going to try to get some of us to go down there. Basically, I think I'm losing people here, I believe. I think I lost GoldFishKeeper. Do I still got Gross? Gross, you still here?
No, everybody's still here.
Is it? Who's calling me in now? Conference call, DarKNaTaS.
Claude Monstro, I've been playing this game for a long time, and I never knew about this rule, really.
Yeah, I feel the same way as you do, man.
So, and I never see anybody asking for a different player after a grand final has been reset.
It's a rule that's never really been brought to light. That pretty much because the situation's never really happened.
I haven't even seen that on Street Fighter. I've seen the pros playing. Justin won, all these guys, Filipino champ, resetting, brackets on grand finals, and I've never seen them switching players. Where is this rule coming from?
Well, I did hear. I did hear that it did occur a lot in Tekken. Apparently, player one priority was, well, not priority, but a lot of people like player one in Tekken. So Tekken, they tend to switch sides a lot. I'm not sure the exact reason why, but there was always a thing about switching sides in Tekken. But that's the only. But who the fuck plays Tekken anymore these days? So
I don't know. Tekken Tag 2 is looking pretty hot.
I haven't played Tekken since like Tekken 3.
I mean, I'm definitely saying it's hot. Yes, Zato, I do know Daniel Pacina. So basically, the myth of the player one, it definitely is a factor in games, but it had nothing to do with this. I mean, it wasn't exchanges. It wasn't exchanges that were in close that were killing them. It was uppercuts and corner combos. So I mean, Gross este player este bueno y PL as what? Different days, different things happen. He did great at Evo. And he went down there. You can pose with your belts. You can do all that. But at the end of the day, you lost. Does it mean anything? Does it mean he's the worst player? No, he's still a great player. It just goes to show that, at Evo, they were stressing the UK versus the US when really until we actually have a true world tournament. And we've had people at Evo that came as far away as Chile, UK, Canada, Dominican, a couple of guys I think from Honduras. But until we incorporate all 7 for those guys that don't have that much of an education, there's 7 continents. All 7 of the continents, then we can actually say that it's a true world tournament and you can declare somebody the best. Now, I'm not saying, because I know people are going to get on my dick saying I'm bashing PL, but I'm not bashing PL. I'm just stating the fact. Evo, yes, he won Evo twice. He's a great player. But reality is this. There's so many players that are good. Any player can win on any given day. I have not seen one player out there that's outright dominated the game. Where, beyond, and, I'm not stroking CD Jr. because he's kind of a pain in my ass, but beyond, CD Jr. and Rio, I believe combined with them, they have won the most amount of majors that have been out there. And they, I know CD Jr. has done it with various characters nonetheless.
Just in case, this is everybody. Most tournaments he's gonna has won. He's been on player 2.
We can't hear.
Yeah, Darius got to turn his volume down on his television.
Yeah, Rose, hay algo interfiriendo con el volumen.
It's really loud.
Yeah. Rose, tú puedes mutear el micrófono hasta que te hagamos una pregunta.
Dime.
Tú puedes poner el micrófono en mute hasta que te hagamos una pregunta porque hay muchas voces.
Ok.
Si te hacemos una pregunta, tú lo quitas de mute.
Ok.
Just saying, this test was by somberness. It's not that player 1 is +1. That's a lie. Me and Ryan Fourier are always testing things like this. Even though what I'm on advantage, let's say with Johnny Cage 1-1, 4-1, and I try to to get in with my 4-3 Sonja, standing 1, which is 7th frame, and my knee's coming out on 6th frame. He's still stopping my move, and I'm still on player 1 because he had more precision than me, hitting his commands first. It's not that if 2 hitboxes collide at the same time, player 1 is not always winning. The one that is winning is the one that was activated first. For this to happen, you gotta do it in the same millisecond, which is humanly impossible. And people people are using this kind of crap, and this is degrading the game a lot. There is no advantage at all. It's impossible to hit a button at the same precise time. It doesn't matter if the 2 hitboxes came alive together, the one that is gonna win was the one who triggered it first.
That triggered it first.
Player 1. So there is no advantage at all. I was seeing that Wtih video, with PL, on the beach, and he gave some credits to Gross, but he also said that he beat him when he was on player 1, and when Sector does the forward 2, and he's trying to get his spin out, he's gonna stop his move with his standing jab, which is a lie. He's the one who does the move with more precision.
Exactly.
This is done with 2 controllers linked together for the hits to come out at the same time. So this is making our game look too bad, especially in other fighting game communities like this Mike Rose, all these guys that they don't even know what they're talking about. Especially Triforce.
It aggravates me in the sense that, here comes Gross out of nowhere and it produces great results. I'm going to have these Trinidadians on in a few. They actually took 3rd and 4th place in the tournament. This is, as far as the MK community goes, this is a uncharted part of the world. Everybody's always talked about when the U.S. plays the UK, or when the U.S. played Canada, or when the U.S. played East, West, North, South, whatever the hell. This is a part of the world that, I hope it gets more recognition at future MLGs. Ask Gross, is he coming with other people or is he just coming by himself?
Gross, si tú vas a venir con otras personas o tú vienes solo.
Yo me gustaría ir con él. Vamos a ver qué pasa más adelante.
Yeah, they trying to bring Ella, which is also one of the best players in Dominican Republic, but he has problem with his visa, and he's trying to get his visa so he can make it to MLG.
And
Okay.
MLG is when?
24th of August.
24th of August, guys. So 24th of August, you guys could be, your level of competition is going to go up even more. I don't know if I'm going to attend it. This is the what? The Raleigh one or the Dallas?
This is the Raleigh one.
This is the Raleigh one. Maybe I'll do Raleigh. I don't know if I want to go to Dallas. I want to get a fucking 64-ounce steak. But, you know, pretty much like I said, I feel bad for Gross that his win is kind of overshadowed by controversy, which was generated by Triforce, which, you know, Triforce, Triforce, you know what? I love the guy, but he's not an MK9 guy, and I understand him trying to defend one of his players or one of his projects, I guess, because he's not sponsored. It's a development company, but you know, I just kind of feel like he made it worse. Listening to the tournament, he made it worse where he actually had generated some negativity on the mic about MK and MK being called a broken game. That kind of turned me off. But, you know, I mean, I can't blame the guy for covering his player, so. You know, I mean, I understand. I'm listening to Take Bus Face. I understand that, and once again, I'm not saying PL was the one that started any kind of controversy. I'm saying Triforce, when he was on the mic, was screaming like Al Sharpton met Don King and saying how, you know, that the player one actually has punishing effect advantages, which it doesn't. And then what happened afterwards was when he stepped off the mic, the commentators that, you know, weren't 100% sure of what happened pretty much went on to bash the game, saying how it's a broken game. That is what I mean by it kind of hurt. It kind of hurt the whole scene. It brought a negativity to it. And like you said, and like I believe PL asked for player one, but when he was said no, that was it. He moved on. So, I mean, like I said, as far as that, I got no beef with him. Anybody out there have questions for Gross?
I love Steve because of player one, man.
Yeah, guys, if you have questions for Gross or Maxter, please send them on Twitter. Let us know what the question is. I'll read it out to you guys.
Who's over there screaming, Maxter?
Oh, this is the guys. I'm Viori. I'm Ep4 and Crazy Dominican are playing here, and sometimes they're talking.
They talk a lot of shit. Hasta habla mucho mierda.
Chacho, que usted habla mucha mierda los dos.
Don't make me come up there.
No. I love Steve because of player one, man.
Ah, see, they're all crying about player one over at the Dominican Casa.
Yeah, Junior started crying that he lost to PL because he had player two. So,
you know, that's why you lost.
He finally admitted it. It takes a real man to admit it. He finally admitted it.
Yeah, it's so funny how PL said that he lost to Denzel because of the continuation rule, and he doesn't say that Junior lost to him because of the continuation rule too, because he beat in 3, you know, of first on their second encounter.
All right, we got a question.
It's a cry, baby. We can't deny that, you know.
All right, I got a question here. This is from Storms from Test Your Might. He asks, is Gross confirmed for MOG? If so, which one?
Gross, una pregunta. ¿Tú estás confirmado para venir al MLG? ¿Es confirmado que vienes o hay posibilidad que no?
Confirmado.
Confirmed.
Which one?
MLG Rally. El que es
MLG Raleigh. Okay.
el 4 de agosto, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Okay. He said sí.
Okay.
Okay. It's confirmed for Raleigh. All right.
Okay. I'm going to because I have one of the Trinidadian guys that want to talk with Gross a little bit, so I'm going to add him into the call myself right now.
All right. While you're doing that, I got another question for Gross also. This is from Club on Stroke. Gross, how did you learn Sector? Did you learn him from testing Might or watch other players or just play himself? Maxter, translate.
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
Back translator.
What was it?
All right, it's from Club on Stroke. He asks us Gross, how did he learn Sector? Did he learn him from testing Might or watch other people's videos? Watching others play or just by himself?
Gross, ¿cómo tú aprendiste a usar a Sector? ¿Tú aprendiste a usar a Sector viendo tips y tácticas de Test Your Mind o tú aprendiste a usarlo por ti mismo?
Por mí mismo. Yo en estos días fue que me vine a meter a Test Your Mind. Yo aprendí por mi cuenta jugando y cogiendo golpes de los muchachos.
Yeah, I could answer that question myself. Yeah, they didn't even know about Test Your Mind or anything, you know. He said he learned it by himself.
Okay.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they didn't even know about frame data and everything.
Frame data is overrated anyway.
Yeah, I educated these guys about frame data when some characters were on advantage and stuff like that. But, you know, they knew all this, but they just had it on the mind. They knew when they could, you know, respond with a hit or not. But it helped them a lot when I, you know, educated them a little bit how to learn frame data, and that made them way better than what they are right now.
All right. So anyway, guys, I got Vincent. He's one of the players from down in Trinidad. How did you, Vincent? You with us?
That was
Yeah, I'm here, James.
Okay. So I got Vincent here. You went to the tournament, obviously.
Yeah.
How did you place?
At BXG. I placed 4th as BXG.
Okay. So 4th place, and I believe a 3rd place was also a Trinidadian.
Yeah, I made it all the way to winners semifinals, where I met PL. PL knocked me into losers, and I met Antonio. Antonio is a really good Lukang player from Trinidad. He's actually our current reigning champion, and he knows me really well. We play together all the time. We actually train together the entire weekend, and I expected to lose that match, to be honest, because he's really, really good.
Now let me ask you this: as far as how you guys feel as far as credibility in the game, do you feel like you guys are kind of overshadowed with the whole USA, UK, almost like you guys are a forgotten island?
I wouldn't say overshadowed. You by overshadowed, what do you mean? Like in terms of
Basically passed
skill?
up. Passed up. Just passed up in
up?
general. Like, you know, I mean, when
No, I
people
don't think
talk
so.
about
I think
conversations, they don't
that-
bring up Trinidad.
No, I think that the gaming scene in general, everywhere, including in the States, is still growing. And in order for an island as small as Trinidad to get involved, it really the entire scene needs to mature a lot more. And we have, in terms of skill, we could definitely keep pace with you all. I would pit the best of the Caribbean against the best of the States any day. Gross proved us right there.
What now? As far as the tournament goes, you had people show up from where?
We had people from Argentina, from Dominican Republic, from the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Croix, Barbados, Canada, France, England, the States.
So this wasn't just
No, it was
the islands. So I mean, people came from all over.
The islands. No, because we at first we were expecting it to be just a Caribbean tournament, but it turned out being a lot bigger than that.
Hold on, I got that tree on that stage in MK saying, I don't know where DR is. Isn't it kind of near Haiti, or am I wrong?
Does he know where Puerto Rico is?
No, this guy is telling me I don't know where anything is on a map. So I
Okay,
love when people
well,
put me on blast. Not you, me. So I mean, pretty much. What time are you working tomorrow? Oh God, my wife. Pretty much. Yes, I do know where DR is. I also know where Trinidad is.
okay.
I actually, if I remember correctly, what's it about? 60 to 100 miles off of the coast of Venezuela.
I think it's about 100 miles off of
Okay.
Venezuela.
Damn, I'm pretty good.
If so
though.
much, because we could actually see Venezuela from Trinidad.
DR is in Africa. You got it, man. Now, I know you said you wanted to talk to Gross, so I got Maxter here who can translate.
Unless
you're fluent in Spanish.
I just wanted to tell Gross that I think he's a really, really good player and that he represented the Caribbean really, really well. I played with Gross a lot over the 5 days in St. Martin, and he was really impressive. He actually, when we had casuals one night. This was on the Thursday night before the actual tournament started, and me and a couple guys were just playing in the lobby, and Gross challenged me to a money match. Now I had no expectation that any of these guys were going to be able to touch me, because everybody was there. I'm pretty good, and this guy challenged me to a $5 money match. So I was like, all right, come on. Gross destroyed me, 5-0 I think it was, or 3-0, because I never saw Smoke move like that, and I never saw Sector move like that before. He was really good.
Well, I mean, the guy's proved himself right now to be one of the top dogs out there. Somebody that the people in the States should be keeping their eye out for. Like I said to you, in a couple of past conversations, I'm really hoping that MLG will put some backing in getting some of you guys, or maybe the guys of the MK community can start a donation drive to get some of these other guys from the islands up to an MLG event, or to get them to some of our majors that are going on during the year. Before this game, everybody wants to disagree with me. Before the game fades, which is eventually going to happen, MK10 and Injustice will wipe it out.
It's already started to fade, I think. You could tell by the MLG numbers. I think went from 400 and something entries to 200 and something entries in 1 year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Am I right?
Yeah, it's dropped off. One of the reasons it drops off, is a lot of players are, living the delusion that they're going there to make $12,000. And it's one of the things that I tell people all the time. If you're going to the tournament to, with expectations of just going there to win, don't bother going. Just don't bother going. Not because you can't win, but for the simple fact that go there to meet people in the community. Go there to have a good time. Go there to do. Me and Max still. I mean, we pretty much got drunk every night in Vegas. We had a good time. We bullshit.
Absolutely correct, man.
We went out with Claude Von Stroke. We went out with K Frog. We went out with Winter Bars. We went out with everybody just to have a good time.
James,
yeah.
Let me ask Gross a question real quick. Gross, esta pregunta viene de Rate the Grade. ¿Cuáles son los 5 caracteres más buenos del juego, en tu opinión?
Para mí, Sector, Cyrax, Sonia.
¿Y a lo mejor?
Yes. Sí. Jax, Lucan.
Alright, he said his top 5 characters are Jax, Lucan, Sector, Sonja, and Cyrax. And also, esta pregunta viene de Red Rum. Él dice, ¿por qué tú suenas como Tego Calderón?
Imagínate ese mentiro de hablar.
Red Rum, he said that his talking style, he doesn't sound like Tego Calderón. La Vallar del Negro Calde, All right, that was it, James.
Yeah,
Keep going.
Skyler is the best in the game. Yeah, number one.
That was
Okay.
Vincent.
I'm going to take a couple of more questions from people that are in the stream if they want to ask some questions to. Hey, how are you? Yeah, say hello to everybody on the stream.
She is live.
Yeah, here, see everybody. See, I have a wife.
Yeah, guys, if you have questions for Grows, Maxter, or Vincent, send us a message.
She's
on
my
Twitter,
wife.
Let us know what your question is, and we'll say it out on the stream.
I say hello, Mrs. MK. If there's any more questions for Gross, get them in. I'm going to bring in a couple of more people into this call. Hopefully, I don't overload this call with people, but we shall see.
And now we have joining us.
And we got Rolando. Rolando is the organizer of VXG, I believe. Am I correct, Vincent?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, he made everything happen. Everything. He picked us up from the airport, dropped us to our rooms, organized the entire tournament, everything. He did everything for everybody.
Okay, and let me add one of your partners in crime.
Capo.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen.
All right, we got more guys from Trinidad. You know, look at the stream, guys. We're getting attacked from the islands in the south.
No.
Okay, for everybody out there, state your name. You there? You hear me?
Hello?
We hear you.
All right. Do I have everybody? How many people I got on here? Give me a head
Rolando's
call.
not in. It still says he's trying to connect.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Rolando's not answering. Let's see. All right. I figured I might overload these calls. All right. Let's see here. And Rolando. There we go. Desron, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, I got Desron here. I'm waiting for Rolando's call to connect. I don't know why it's not connecting, so I'm just going to let that ring until he hopefully answers. I got Vincent.
Yeah.
I got Vincent. I got Desron. Desron, did you go to the tournament?
Nah.
No?
I was in Trinidad. I watched it back home.
What was your opinion of the tournament?
Tournament, well, what I didn't like was just that how some of the matches were not on stream. The only matches that were streamed were the grand finals.
Yeah, that kind of sucked, man. I don't know why when we saw grand finals.
Well, it's not a Trinidadian problem. It's not an island problem. It's an MK problem.
Well, I could explain that. I could explain that, James.
Mm-hmm.
At the tournament, we actually got kept back for a little while because I think Rolando was waiting for some international players to get in. So, because of that, because of the keep back, they were only able. We had to run the Street Fighter, MK, FIFA, Smash Brothers, about so many games at the same time that they could not. It was impossible for them to stream all of it. So what they did was they did up to top 8 on the Saturday night, and we went pretty late. And then on Sunday they only streamed top 8. For MK, I think they streamed just the top 2.
See, in the states they do the same thing. So it's not, MK gets zero love when it comes to stream time. It's always been that way. I know it pisses a lot of people off. I mean, I don't know what the turnouts were as far as the Marvel versus Capcom and all the other Capcom games that were there, but the numbers say it, and a lot of people just don't want to have the reality of it, which is if I got 400 MK players, but I got 1,000 Street Fighter players, well, who takes precedence? Obviously, it's going to be the Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Where my problem comes is when I see a game like MK have, 100 people, 200 people show up, and KOF or Soul Calibur has 20 people show up, and they get more stream time from us, and they reverse justify it, and they say, well, we streamed them because we had a little bit of time, so we figured we can get all of them in, when they could have done, maybe a top 32 or
they could at least top 8 or top 16.
Exactly. That's something that I would hope the tournament scene would like to correct. I mean, being that this game has pretty much proven itself to carry its own. You're here now, over a year later, and the game is still going strong.
Right.
Numbers have dropped off. Mace, KOF had more players at EVO. 1,000 people went there with a 70% no-show rate. Most of those people went there to get the free shirt.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
True.
So I mean, I don't hate on them, but I played in KOF, and when I saw Rolando, did I get you?
That's right, I'm here, man. What's
Okay,
up?
good. I got you. I got you in the chat now. Okay, I got my third Trinidadian here. I got Rolando Bryson.
Rolando's from
Actually,
St. Martin.
Oh, you're St.
I'm
Martin.
from St. Martin.
From
Oh,
St.
okay.
Martin, yeah.
All right, guys. So I got Dominican Republic. I got Trinidad, and I got St. Martin on the line here. So I'm all over the place.
A Caribbean show today, man. Congratulations.
You, Rolando, you
So,
want to
boy.
introduce yourself to everybody on in the chat? Tell them what you do. Tell them about the tournament, and hopefully more of these people will come out next year to come to this tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, the Video X Games was a great success. It's a video game tournament that held in St. Martin, in the island of St. Martin here in the Caribbean. It targets gamers. It first started with targeting gamers from the Caribbean, but we managed to get some attention in the U.S. thanks to various organizations such as Empire Arcadia. Of course, everyone knows them. The Witness brand in the States, Dominion Method Gaming, and of course Cross Counter as well. And they helped us bring a lot of attention to this tournament because it's something different. It's not the same old, okay, go to the tournament, play some video games, win some prizes. We have all of that plus an island experience, the partying, meeting the gamers up close and personal, great hotels, great service, great food, great women, everything. So it's an experience of a lifetime for a lot of people here.
Yeah, I kind of missed out. I really did want to come down there, especially
Great
after
beach.
seeing all those pictures of people posting.
Well, for sure, next year it's on again. It's going to be on every year. So I'll definitely be happy to have you here and to experience it for yourself. Have you ever been to the Caribbean before?
No, actually, I haven't. It's one of the few spots I haven't gone.
Well, there you go. You got to be here for 2013 for sure.
I believe me and DarKNaTaS are definitely going to be covering this show live, and probably doing our show from down there live next year.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
So let me ask you this: the controversy surrounding the PL thing, and
Yeah.
Triforce. I believe once again, Triforce got a little bit more salty, I believe, than PL himself did. What was your take on what actually happened, and what is your take on the one player rule of 2 players switching sides?
Okay. All right. Well, let me paint the scene for you first. Basically, we're PL sitting on the second controller side, and Darius, Real Gross, as everyone knows him, from the Dominican Republic, was on player 1. The match started, and it went in Gross's favor pretty early, and he ended up winning the match. After that, Perfect Legend requested to change sides. At that moment, the gamers, actually, it was really the gamers in the crowd were kind of pressing him, no, don't change it, don't change it. So Darius kind of jumped up and said, Gross just said, no, all right, I guess I'll just stay. So then he kind of called the attention of the ref who was near, Perfect Legend, saying, hey, don't I get to switch sides? At that moment, it was pretty much us trying to contact the head ref because we weren't sure about this rule. I myself, as a tournament organizer, I don't make the rules. I don't delve into the exact details of the rules, but we do have a head ref who's aware of all of that stuff. I called him in, and there was a bit of a discussion between us. At the moment, it felt like it was half an hour, but in real time, it actually turned out to be like a 3-minute discussion to ensure that we were doing the right thing. One thing I gotta say that I don't know where it came from, but by no means was Carl, Perfect Legend, salty or upset in any way about it. Both gamers are actually sitting there kind of like, okay, can you just hurry up and decide so we can continue? That was really what their reaction was when they were sitting down there. The crowd, of course, was excited about it, waiting to see what the decision was going to be. Of course, the gamers around it were commenting on it. I mean, we had Mike Ross and Combo Fiend on commentary, and they actually did not know about the player one advantage, so they were a little confused as to the reasoning for wanting to switch. So I'm not sure if their commentary kind of swayed people to think that Perfect Legend was salty about it or anything, but actually both gamers are kind of ready to go. They just wanted to play and wanted to not lose momentum on either side. So in the end, the decision that we decided to do, what we did when we made the rules, and this might kind of be my fault because in conversation with Perfect Legend, he asked me in casual conversation, hey, what rules did you follow? I told him, well, I'm pretty sure they do Evo rules because that's what I remember the head ref discussing. So in the end, when we looked online at the rules and copy pasted what we found from Evo rules, it did not mention that switching issue about the player one advantage. So we never had that in our rules. So the head ref decided, listen, it's not in our rules. It might be in Evo's rules or international rules, but unfortunately for our tournament, it's not in the rules. So we're not going to follow that. We're going to just keep it as it is. Each person stay on the side that they started. And that was the decision, and the match proceeded.
James.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to address the entire issue with the player one advantage. Like, me and Rolando had this discussion just the day after the tournament had finished. I think this was Monday, Rolando, when we were leaving.
Yeah.
The commentators were Capcom players, so they didn't completely understand the idea behind player one advantage. Player one advantage in MK is, well, as we know here, is if there's no trades in this game. So if both players use the same speed move, which is, okay, say you use a 6-frame down one, I use a 6-frame down one, at the same exact frame, player one would win at maybe like 7-3 at a 7-3 ratio. So it's really not something that that would influence a match like this, especially in a matchup like Sector or Kung Lao, where Gross was timing his uppercut so perfectly. He was just waiting on PL to teleport, which he knew he would do. PL is an excellent player. I can't even explain how good he is, but he's very impatient. I mean, I told him this to his face. I was like, PL, you're real good, but you're so impatient, you know? And he was like, that's what makes me good. And I believe him. I mean, I agree with that. I mean, he's fearless. He's really, really good. But like I was saying, player one advantage, I really don't think it had anything to do with this match. And Rolando shouldn't be worried about the outcome or what happened there. I think he handled it really well. And
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I agree. I mean, I don't begrudge any of the tournament organizers. I don't begrudge PL. You know, PL asked, he was told no. You know, you guys got your set of rules. You know, if you want to follow Evo's rules, that's great. If you want to stick by the book, you know, and try to stay the same, but you know what? People got to understand different countries, different cultures, different rules, and different games. You know, and that's what it is, and it's up to the players. Which PL did take the step, you know, and asked you guys, you know, well, what are the rules that you guys follow? You know, not everybody has a rule book sitting there when you walk into a tournament and they say, here you go. The player one advantage, you know what, to be honest, unless you're playing two characters where footsies become, a dominant part of the game, it's not going to affect you. And like you said, I watched, PL just got smashed. In a nutshell. In a nutshell, he got uppercutted every time he teleported. And he basically, what is that? He was the definition of the word chaos. Doing the same thing over and over again, and still wondering why am I getting punished for it again.
James, let me ask you a question. I myself am not an avid Mortal Kombat. I played extremely casually, so things like this kind of catch me by surprise. Now, you're saying you watched the match.
I watched it about 20 times.
Do you think reversed the situations where, let's say, you switch sides? Would there have been a difference in the match?
No. There would have been no difference.
No.
Absolutely not.
Every player out here can basically say an uppercut has nothing to do with frame advantage. It's just being punished. And he was hitting him with an uppercut every time he teleported. So
if you all looked at that grand finals in VXG, PL didn't even play like how he normally played. He didn't even do much footsies, all of that. So player one advantage had nothing to do with the match. It didn't affect anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was just playing kind of rushy, kind of hasty kind of way. According to what Vincent said, he's kind of impatient. So
he impatient.
You know what it was? I think he was spending too much time with the ladies down there.
You might be more right than you think, bro.
Probably.
It's one thing that you have to kind of recognize too. It didn't only happen to Perfect Legend. It happened to every single pro gamer that came from the US. You got a little bit better competition than you expected. I think everyone thought they would come here and wipe the floor.
They only won Marvel. That's the only thing they won.
Yes.
Who won Marvel? Who won Marvel?
Sanford Kelly.
Sanford Kelly won Marvel.
And he wasn't even expecting to win that.
And like I said, this just goes to prove, and I've been talking to the Trinidadian guys for, a couple of months here, and, I've said to them from day one, you guys have a lot to bring to the table, but unfortunately the gaming community hasn't been as open to welcoming you to the community and really tried to include you in. I heard about your tournament, I guess about last year. I wanted to come down to it. I did so many. I was doing 2 tournaments a month for like the last year and a half almost now. So I just kind of got a little burnt out, and that was why I'm doing this show. But I will make sure next time around I will be hitting that tournament without a doubt.
Good.
It's good that you're not only getting players from the Caribbean, but you're getting players from all over. Pretty much, the way I look at it, you guys are just as much part of the backbone of this community as the UK and the US. In Evo, we had, like I said, we had players from Chile, some UK guys. But it's good to see that you guys are now included into that, and especially after producing so well at the tournament.
One thing I'd like to add too is I gotta say, and I think Vincent will agree with me on this, and any of the other gamers who are here at VideoX Games. I don't know where it came from. Maybe James, you have an idea where this might have come from. But
thank you, Rolando. I was just about to say this, Rolando.
The vision and the when you see Perfect Legend online or you read about him or you see him play, for some reason you get the feeling that, okay, this guy's a bad guy, he's a cocky guy, he's a diva, So I was mentally preparing myself for this kind of thing. I was telling myself, yo, Rolando, when you pick this guy up at the airport, get ready, that he's going to want, ice cold water waiting for him. And I thought he would be a lot of work. But from the moment I met the guy and I went into meeting him and taking him around, everything, I realized, but wait a minute, this guy is actually probably one of the coolest guys out of the entire bunch, to be honest. I mean, he's still here. I'll tell you, he's staying at my house tonight. The guy he's been here an extra week because he loves the place so much. He's been doing a lot of work to help promote VideoX Games already for 2013. And I've seen a side of the dude that I wish more people could see, that he's really not the guy that deserves the amount of hate that he gets. And I don't know where this has come from. I have not followed him as long as you guys might have. Maybe there was one or two incidents or things that he said or whatever. But really, I mean, I can't imagine anyone who's meet this guy face to face saying that they don't like this guy. He's such a likable guy. And he's a great friend. I'm really happy that he's here, and I just hope the community can one day embrace him the way that I do.
I mean, it's not. I mean, every story's got to have its villain. And I mean that's just the reality. That's just the reality of it. I mean, to be honest, my interaction with him started off from the get-go. Back in VSM, we had a guy that was shooting videos, and PL wasn't coming to tournaments. And, he basically was saying the game's broken, the sun was shining, it was raining out, it was too bright out for his eyes, he can't go out, whatever excuse he said. So I basically donned him Paper Legend and came up with a video where I walk around with a paper plate on my chest, basically mimicking him. And the intent was to get him to come out and play. I've never denied he's a top player. Has he taken some bad advice at times? Yeah.
Okay.
And that sometimes, it portrays him in a different light. If you turn around and you win Evo, last year's Evo, he won it and didn't come out to a tournament until, I believe a couple of the last one in Chicago, or two of them in Chicago ago.
I think he came out to season's beatings.
He didn't,
I think that was one of the first ones he made Raiden.
No,
for the.
No, not Seasons Beatings. Because Seasons Beatings is when I met him face to face, and he didn't play.
So he came out before that then.
No,
Well, that was
after
winter.
that. It was the
That
one in
was the
Chicago.
winter.
It was the one in Chicago. What was the Chicago tournament?
Some
that he
winter
showed up?
something.
When?
No, you're talking about season's
Winter
beatings.
Brawl. Winter Brawl.
Winter.
That
no,
is when.
No, Winter.
Oh,
It was one in Chicago.
You have GT8?
No, it was the one before that. Frosty Faustings. That's it. Zato, you get a prize.
Yeah. Frosty. I know it's some kind of.
And he
Frosty
came out.
Frosty.
He came out with
Okay.
Raiden, and he dominated.
The tournament,
everybody.
guys, I just heard the tournament that we're talking about is called Fusion. I just got that from the guys here, from Empire
Okay.
Arcadia.
Okay, Fusion. All right.
Okay. Well, he showed up and he came with Raiden and he brought it. And he made people say, "Wow, you know what? He's not a guy that's just using the cheap bullshit from Kung Lao. He's actually a good player." And then he, like I said, then every once in a while he kicks into this mode, which I can laugh about it, but other people might see it, and like you said, they see it as arrogant. And basically what winds up happening is he builds himself this negative persona.
well, actually, I spoke to him about this entire thing, right? The first night I got there, PL and I got in at the same time, and about 7 o'clock that night we got in, or like 3 o'clock or so, and he started playing with us from the first day, and he was pretty cool. I think that Triforce I hate to call a name like that, but on the day of the final, Triforce kind of made a scene, and it made it look like if PL was making a scene when PL wasn't actually making a scene. PL said that after he won Evo, he didn't show up to tournaments because they were out of the way, and he just really wasn't feeling it. He wasn't that into the game, and honestly, like I told you last night, I don't think he's a bad guy. I think that his public persona might come off bad because of, well, whatever reasons. But I honestly can't say he's a bad guy.
I think the other thing, the other thing that happens too, and is something that he struggles with in conversation, is that it's the curse of the champion, so to speak. Once you become so-called world champion of anything, people have a certain expectation from you, and I think it's traveling to all the different tournaments and all this kinds of stuff as a champion. It's something that people might expect, but then there are some realities that we all have to face. There are costs involved with going to these tournaments. What are the tournament payouts? All these kinds of stuff, and to be fair, I think in the end, the traveling to tournaments thing, I think it's something he might recognize and he'll probably improve on. The fact that he's flown all the way, pretty much on EMP's own expense, thanks to Duckster. I mean, that support him to come here. We did not sponsor them coming to this event. They found their own money and decided, hey, we're going to this Mortal Kombat tournament in St. Martin. So I'm sure they're going to diversify their tournaments a lot in the future, especially with the qualifying tournaments that we're going to be doing in the U.S. Over the next year to 2012, 2013 season. You're going to see a lot of tournaments being road to VXG as opposed to road to Evo. I can warn you about that from now. But
that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
You're going to see a lot of people doing that. Oh yeah, for sure. We're not scared to stand up to the
the evil empire
and show them that there's another product out there on the scene. We might not ever surpass Evo, but we're not scared to show that we have.
You know what? You don't have to surpass them. You guys offer just the tropical experience. To be gaming, drinking, having a good time. Apparently, from what I hear, you can elaborate. I heard the parties were pretty insane.
The parties were definitely really insane. You see, in St. Martin, it's known as a party destination. We're the ideal island for many reasons. We are here to have fun. Let's just say there's some experiences here that a lot of these young men have had. That are
you're not supposed to be talking about the strip clubs on the scene on the show.
I can tell you. What did I tell you? Hey Vincent, what did I tell you about censorship here? We don't censor nothing.
Are you in strip club?
Yeah, if you want the strip club, we want details.
I'm not allowed to say.
You're allowed to spill the beans on any strip club.
Well, you could talk about the
Papi.
Yeah, Papi. Shout out to El Capitan. I think all these guys know about El Capitan by now. But there's just a lot. Listen, if you're here to fall in love, if you're here to fall in like, if you're here to bust a nut, if you're here to gamble, you're here to beach, you're whatever. Straight up.
Rolando was.
I'm telling you, Island is all about entertainment. We have the number 4 club that was rating number 4 in the world by E! Magazine, Club Tantra. That alone, it says enough.
Tantra itself is enough for me to go there.
Nice.
Exactly. Tantra, this was just wicked. I'll tell you, the guys did struggle a bit between managing their partying and managing their gaming. It's something that you have to manage yourself. You got to build yourself a schedule.
Yeah, well,
when you close at 7, and the bus is leaving at 10:30, you better be sure that from 7 to 10, get yourself a little shut-eye because you're going to be partying till 4 in the morning.
I actually missed the Tantra night because of that. Because I think Tantra was what night? That was Friday night, right, Rolando?
No, Tantra was Saturday night.
Okay, it was Saturday night, and we had gaming to do on Sunday, so we
Exactly.
We did make
if you're in the top 8, if you're in the top 8, choose. You say, what? Yeah. I'll skip the Sunday night because I'm in top 8. I need to make sure I'm ready. So gamers like y'all who made it to the top 8, I would understand that you wouldn't hit the parties. But of course, not everyone can be top 8. So we saved the best party for that day because we know, hey, for those that are not going to be doing much on Sunday, you at least have something to do on the other party days. But we sell like tire fluids. James, I don't know if you've been to Evo.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You go to Evo and you play. What next? You're there from Friday to Monday, for example.
Me and Maxter. All right, this is how my Evo adventure went. I got there on a Thursday. I had Napalm pick me up. I got off the plane at 9 o'clock. I started drinking by 10:10. The first night I didn't go crazy. I just wanted to settle in with the time zone difference and everything. So what I did is I drank till around, I don't know, I stopped kind of early. I stopped around 4. At around 4, I laid down. I had my first match at 10 o'clock, and it was in Soul Calibur, which I had no delusion of winning. I just kind of entered it because the MK didn't start until Saturday. So I did that, and I did KOF. When I got knocked out of those, I said to myself, Jimmy, you're going to be good now. You're not going to do your normal, your normal drinking from, noon to noon the next day. And then I ran into Maxter. And me and Maxter decided to have a couple of drinks. Then we wound up meeting up with K-Frog and his business partner from Trip Sessions. And we wound up going to a strip club. And it was, free limo ride, $25, 2 drinks. It's like, hey, you can't go wrong with that. Needless to say, on Saturday, my match was at 8 a.m. We got back into the room around 6:30 from our adventure. And I told Maxter, I said, Maxter, I'm just going to sit for 1 minute. And he says, okay, I got your back, Jimmy. I said, okay, cool. Maxter wakes me up at 9:45 and tells me, you missed your match. So I got DQ'd for Mortal Kombat. So basically I went to Evo to play Mortal Kombat. Soul Calibur and KOF were just little side gigs. But the real one that I intended to go there with, I got DQ'd for. So now he had his match and he left, and I was pretty pissed. But I said, fuck it, I'm going to go back, I'm going to lay down. So I laid down and I woke up around 1 o'clock and I said, you know what? I'm going to go over there just to support everybody, even though I'm a little salty right now. And on the way over to Caesars, I decided to lie to the organizers. And I said, I was going to be here at 8 o'clock, but my wife's grandmother had died, and I was on the phone with her the whole time.
Oh.
And they were like, oh, now wait. For everybody out there that says that's fucked up, I didn't lie. My wife's grandmother died like 10 years ago. So I didn't lie when I said it. I just said my wife's grandmother died.
Got
a point there.
I had to think on the top of my on the go here. So I tell them that, and they're like, oh, it's okay. You know what? We have a group at 2 o'clock. We can get you back in. So they got me back in. So I was cool with that. After that day, I made it to, I believe it was losers semis in my pool and got knocked out. From that point on, my drink was on. I drank from Saturday till, I believe, Tuesday. The only time I stopped is to piss and pretty much to sleep, maybe that 1 hour that I slept. We had a great time. I mean, just getting together with the people in the community, going out drinking, having Maxter.
We don't hear you.
Yeah.
I lost you there, James.
Yeah, you got a lot of echo going on there.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't hear James. James, we don't hear you.
You hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah. So basically, I spent most of the time running around, drinking, and staring at a whole bunch of smoking hot women, but you couldn't tell who was a hooker and who wasn't.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Would you say it was... Okay, you kind of looked for stuff to do, but did stuff find you? In other words, it's like, okay, you know what? If I'm not gaming, I know that this is the place to be. Is that how it works at Evo, or do you really have to try and find your own thing to do?
You kind of gotta click with people. I mean, some people, when they were done playing, they went to their room and they played more. And I'm going. You left, you left a, wherever you're from. You can do that anywhere.
Yeah.
You can do that anywhere you go. You're in the city of sin, so go around and commit some damn sins. But a lot of people, and I don't begrudge somebody for choosing to sit in their room and play games all day. I mean, for me, like if I come down there, I'm going hoochie chasing, drinking. And whether I qualify or not, to be honest, is irrelevant. I mean, I use Baraka for crying out loud. How far do you really expect me to get? It's just all about the scene itself, hanging out with people in the scene. I hung out, and it's funny because I got a lot closer with the guys from Mortal Kombat United, And in the beginning, we had a New York versus Ohio, which was a whole big hype thing. In fact, that's when I met PL. And I met Forever King. And at first of all, his picture is misleading because you see this guy and he's kind of jacked, and you're like, wow, he's pretty big. And then you see him and he's a little dude, but he's still jacked. He kind of looks like that 12-year-old that the parents made him work out. I don't know if you've ever seen that picture of him, kid from Australia. They call him Little Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah, I saw that years ago.
And
I did.
And this guy's pretty much a little him, but you know what? I had a misconception about him because I kind of was like, you know what? These Ohio guys, they're kind of dicky, yada yada yada. But I liked Mace, who was from Ohio. But then I hung out with this guy. I took him out playing beer pong at 7 in the morning. I made GoldFishKeeper miss her plane. We just pretty much went out and drank and had a good time. So if you go to these tournaments, with just that concept of I'm here to play, win, kick ass, and go home, especially if it's not an MLG or if it's not an Evo, you're talking about $300, $400, $500, $600 top prize. So it's like, unless you're going.
Okay, you're talking about costs. You went out and you did a lot of stuff. Now,
a lot of people
I don't know how you are compared to what the average person is in terms of disposable income to entertain themselves. How much money do you really need on the Evo weekend for decent entertainment? I'm talking drinking, I'm talking partying, maybe at some clubs.
Well, for me,
is it going to hit you like $600?
For me, I dropped $2K. I dropped $2K in Vegas.
Wow, man! Now, not everyone's gonna do that, James.
No, but you
dropped $2K in St. Martin. Believe you me, you're traveling back home with a
girl
named Maria Bella or something
with a girl in my suitcase, hopefully.
Wow. $2K, and you're going back like 20 pounds heavier too, because you're gonna eat the best food. So, I don't know, like the average person can't do that.
I didn't eat much. I just drank. So literally, I think me and Maxter ate maybe like 2 meals the whole in like 5 days. We stopped. In fact, we had some pizza one day. The food there was nothing to write home to mom about, but the booze was $10 a shot. $10 a shot. You're buying around for a table here, a table there, a table here, a table there. For this girl, next thing you know, you're going, damn, man, I spent a lot of money, but at least I'm hammered.
True.
And like I said, it's, Evo is a one-time-a-year thing.
Yeah.
Do I drop $2K at every tournament I go to? Hell's no. But I knew this, a lot of people went there with, whether they went with the misconception of winning the tournament or that they were going to hit $1 million on a slot machine, I don't think anybody walked out like a millionaire there. That's why, like I said, even if you can't drop $2K, and which, to be honest with you, I shouldn't have, but I did.
Yeah.
It's more or less about just having a good time.
Yeah, I know how that is. Listen, sometimes when you're in the moment, you just kind of want to make the best of your moment. You're not really thinking, especially when you have that credit card at your disposal. You're just like, fuck it, just have a good time. And that can happen, And what I think is that it is something, because I'm seeing some people in the chat saying they spent $100. I don't see how that's even possible to survive a weekend in Vegas with $100. I guess.
Well, if you don't gamble and don't go to strip clubs and don't drink really that much, I guess it's possible. I don't see a reason why not.
There are people, because you got to remember the way these guys do it a lot of the time. The way these guys do it a lot of the time is 7 or 8 guys will get a room, split it together. A lot of these young bucks out there, they don't drink, they don't gamble. They literally come here just to play games.
Yeah.
And when it comes to the women, I hate to say it, maybe they don't have game. So they're pretty much going there and they're playing with their joysticks the whole time, hanging out, and they play casuals in the room. See here, DarKNaTaS saying he don't drink, he don't gamble. You know what, DarKNaTaS? Next tournament you come to when I'm at, you're gonna drink and I'll make you gamble.
And make them smoke.
And I'll make you smoke.
Well, yeah, no, I think that's true. Like what someone just pointed out to me, and I completely forgot. The drinking age in the U.S. is 21, whereas it's 18.
Yeah.
18 officially, 16 unofficially in St. Martin. Don't quote me on that. But I mean, people here just, I guess it's a bit more liberal. It's also a lot cheaper. So I think that was a bit of a difference between what we experienced here. And the thing is, no one, with the exception of two people, and I won't call names, no one really got hammered, like passed out kind of hammered, except for two people that I know of, but I won't say any names. But you know,
You didn't see everybody, Rolando.
I think Vincent knows who I'm talking
PL
about.
got hammered. PL had to have gotten hammered. PL wants to earn my respect back. He better have gotten hammered.
No comment. You can ask him in private. But no, I mean, because it's 4 days of parties, because we organize parties every night. Like I want to find a balance between, okay, you come to a game tournament that offers you a chance to play against the high level players that you want and offers you to compete against for a decent prize. But there's more to that. Like you say, go on the beach, go in the pool, go see the ladies, go to the club, you know, and not require, you know, like $1,000 to do that. And that's what we're trying to offer here. And I think we got the formula. And you're gonna see it for yourself next year, James. This is gonna be the best gaming experience of your life. Money back guarantee. I'll tell you that right now.
Trust me, the amount of money I'm going to spend down there, I don't need it. I don't need it back. I just need to leave happy.
Hey, Rolando.
Yes, what's up, man?
Same hotel next year.
No, we're
Maho.
actually going. Yeah, we're going to the biggest hotel. I don't know if you remember the Maho Beach Resort is right across from Tantra Club. It's the biggest and best resort, not only in the island but in the region. It's
What is it? Huh?
It's called Maho Beach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like I was
Maho
saying
Beach
last
is-
night.
That is
Yeah.
Like
five
I was
star?
saying last night. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's an awesome venue. I mean, we have three conference centers that they're giving us to run the whole event. So it's going to be basically like 6 times the floor space that we had at Sinesta Great Bay. The hotels rooms are nicer; they're one step up, but the prices are actually going to be the same. We're going to still get the $99 a night rate that everyone
Oh,
got.
okay. Because I was going to ask if it costs more there.
No, it won't cost more. It's going to be the same price, maybe even less. Who knows? Breakfast will still be included for all the gamers, and that was something really cool because you can stock up on breakfast. A lot of people skip lunch because they had that buffet breakfast like at 9, 10 o'clock. So you didn't really like absolutely need food till like maybe 6 o'clock. So all of that was impossible stuff.
Something good, man.
Yeah, like I was
So,
saying.
so guys, listen, I don't want to cut into you guys, but DarKNaTaS has been getting questions from guys that they want to ask out to you guys all.
Sure.
So I'm going to let him field you guys some questions, and I'm going to step away to get myself another beer.
All right, guys. Maxter, you there? Where's Maximo?
He probably went to get a drink too.
Oh, that's not good, bro. I needed him because he's my translator.
I speak Spanish
Nice
too, so
quick.
it's fine.
Rolando,
Oh, you
speak
speak
Spanish.
Spanish? All right, gross. So you're there.
Gross, ¿estás ahí?
Gross.
Sí, sí.
All right,
Gross,
there you go.
okay.
All right, I got a few questions for him. Here we go.
Okay.
First question. This is coming from let's see. Come Claude Von Stroke for Gross. Who are sectors losing matchups in his opinion?
Okay, Gross, ¿contra quién tú crees que Sector pierde? ¿Cuáles los peores para él jugar?
No. No, Cyber.
Noob Saibot. Yeah, he's
That's
saying
it?
Noob Saibot.
Okay.
¿No hay otros? Alguien me dijo que Kenshi. Blind Kenshi también es un problema para el Sector.
Sí, pero
Ay.
no me da tanto
Okay,
problema.
he's saying... Yeah, he's saying the only one that really gives problem to a Sector is a Noob. Noob Saibot. I also heard Kenshi. I asked him about that. He said no, Kenshi's not a problem for Sector. It's only
Rolando.
Noob Saibot.
Okay.
Rolando, ask him for me about the Raiden matchup. What he thinks if it's in sector favor or if it's 5-5.
Y contra Raiden, ¿qué tú crees Raiden contra Sector?
Sector win.
Sector wins. Yeah, he's basically saying, guys, that Sector matchup wise wins all those matches.
All right. Here we go. We got a next question here from Phil Kun to Gross. How did he feel when he beat Perfect Legend?
Ok, un fácil gross. Yo te pregunté esto cuando estábamos en el stream. ¿Cómo sentiste cuando tú ganaste contra Perfect Legend? ¿Sentiste como tú eras el mejor del mundo o cómo te sentías ese momento?
No tanto, porque ganar un torneo, eso no define que tú eres el mejor del mundo. Primero tiene que pasar por la cabeza de muchos.
Okay. He said he didn't quite feel like he was the best in the world, even though he beat the best in the world. He just think it's one match, and to be the best, you have to go through various people, not just one person.
Okay, good answer. My next question here is now from JamessMK9 for Gross again. What U.S. players are you scared of?
Well, okay.
That's a good
I'll
question.
formulate the question exactly like you did.
None, Gross. None.
None. He would say none.
Ellos
I
quieren
know.
saber.
Better
¿Cuál
say
es
none.
Yeah, he will say none. But let me try and get this out of him then. Pues mira, lo que te quieren preguntar. Y nosotros sabemos que tú no tienes miedo de nadie en los Estados Unidos, pero dime, ¿cuáles son los jugadores en los Estados Unidos que tú crees que te dan los más problemas para ganar? Y cuando tú juegas contra ellos, tú crees, ok, yo tengo que traer mi A-game para ganar.
Rio.
Real?
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
Rio.
Rio.
Rio and Detro Byron.
And who?
¿En quién?
Detro Billion.
I didn't catch the last name.
Is-
¿Cuál era el otro nombre? ¿Real y quién?
Detro Billion.
Oh,
Bailey.
Detroit Ballin.
Detro Billion.
I think he said Detroit balling. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Detroit.
yeah,
Okay.
Detroit, yeah.
What
Detroit
about
Ball.
CD Junior?
Sí, ¿qué crees de CD Junior? ¿No te tiene miedo si tú vas contra CD Junior? ¿Cómo sientes?
Muy buen jugador, pero no lo veo como tanta amenaza.
No, he's saying CD Junior, very good player, but not something that is a threat.
Wow.
Wow. No respect.
Damn.
Let's go to Perfect Legend. Ok, ya jugaste contra Perfect Legend. Sabemos que vas a ir definitivamente en la rally en MLG. Si tú vas contra Perfect Legend en las finales, ¿cómo sientes con eso? ¿Vas a ganar otra vez? ¿O ahora que él ya te jugó, crees que él tiene un chance de ganarte?
No sé, eso lo define el momento y cómo uno juega.
Okay, pero all right. So I asked him about Perfect Legend. You know, if he goes to Rally and MLG and he faces Perfect Legend in the finals, does he think it's going to be a less chance to win? He said he's not sure, but he's going to play his best. But he's not planning to lose.
All right. All right, here we go. Next question now. From MK Sal Eval. I don't even know how to pronounce your goddamn fucking name. He asks James MK. James MK, why is he always angry?
I had a bad childhood. I went to Penn State, and Sandusky touched me.
That's dirty.
I'm actually not angry. I get angry. I guess I'm like the Hulk. You know, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Nobody's seen me angry. Nah, I wasn't raped because I was willing.
Okay, James. Further to that question, I'll be very blunt. When I told some people, hey, I'm going on James' show, they're like, hey, you got to be careful because just like the name of the show, he's gonna put you on blast. He's gonna. Do you think you instill an image on people that you interview? Because I feel very calm now. You know, I see that you're very upfront. You're a cool guy and everything. But do you instill fear in the people that you interview?
No, I don't. You know what it is? It's I guess it's urban myths. You know, I've kind of dealt with that my whole life. You know, when I was in high school, people used to think I carried a shotgun in my trunk, but I've never picked a gun up in my life. I guess because of my New York accent, everybody thinks I'm some kind of mafia guy. I'm not even. I'm not even Italian. I'm not even Italian.
Yeah. James, that is first thing I said. When I first see you start to talk and thing, you sound like an Italian mafia boss, you know what I'm saying?
I hung out with
Godfather.
Italians my whole life, but I'm
Read the
not
chat,
one.
Capo.
Yeah.
Read the chat. Read the
And
chat.
you know what's funny? I'm the one who's part Italian over here. He's
Read the
not.
chat. Vincent.
All right, let me get to my next question.
Done.
Okay. Next question here.
Yeah, next question is from MK Sal. Man, fuck your name. Goddamn Sal. Alright, he asks me a question. DarKNaTaS, why are you so free? The last time I checked against you, Sal, I beat you 10-4 against the Sub-Zero with my Freddy, so shut the fuck up. Alright, next question. From J Matic. James, who is your top 5 players?
I'll say in no particular order because, like I said, the way this game is, today the top guy wins, tomorrow he loses.
You see, that's the same thing I was saying. In this game, I realized anybody could beat anybody. Once you defend properly, once you play properly. I could win today, and tomorrow
you'll lose.
anybody. You understand? I telling everybody that same thing.
We proved that right in Trinidad and Capu.
Yeah, I hear you. All kind of thing, yeah, boy.
Now, as far as my top players, CD Junior, Rio, Detroit Baldwin,
yeah, Ish, I hear you. No
PL.
PL. One more.
You know what? That number 5 spot, I got to go with Maxter.
You got to go with Maxter.
I got to go with Maxter.
Gross? Do you think Gross with his win versus PL, does that even put him in the top 10?
Yes. It does put him in the top 10. When Kerbalicious came to Evo and babied PL, I was pissed because it was the only New Yorker that I didn't know. So I actually had to pay him. I could have told these other guys to go fuck themselves. You ain't getting no money. But, he proved, and this has been a issue with online versus offline for a long time in this community. And basically nobody gives credit to online players. And it's all because, they feel they don't show up. But reality is he came to MLG. Did he win it? No, but he kicked ass. So he earned the respect of the offline community. Some people just can't afford it. And that's the reality of it. People like to say, oh, it's all because they're just afraid to play offline because it's different. But a lot of the players out there, if I had to give 10, I would put Kerbo in there. I would put Pig the Hut in there. I would not put 16-bit. He would make my top 16. I would put, and a lot of people are going to say no to this, Chris G.
Mortal Kombat.
You know why? Because the guy comes and he always produces.
Yeah, he's plays top 8 in a lot of tournaments.
In a lot of games. He doesn't just come there and play one game. He's like a gaming machine. So I would put him in my top 10. I would put Crazy Dominican in my top 10.
I'm not so sure I agree with Crazy Dominican though.
You got to play Crazy Dominican. Listen, you got to play Crazy Dominican. His katana is beastly.
Someone in man.
If I get up there for MLG, I'll take him out.
I'm hoping.
Vincent is top 10.
I would go with.
He's top 4 at VXG, so.
Vincent is top 10.
Now let me, James, on your same question, I mean, we've already talked about 3 Dominican players in your top 10. I mean, what are the prospects of these guys getting sponsored? Gross is still, I mean, he's being sponsored by us to go to MLG, to rally.
You know what the problem is? You know what the problem is? And I tell people all the time, don't live the illusion. Get a job.
Yeah.
Don't look for a sponsor because at the end of the day, and this is, and this is the truth, as Triforce likes to say, real talk. Unfortunately for PL, his attitude that people either have portrayed him as or how he's displayed it has turned sponsors off. And that's the truth, and he should be a sponsored player. But now that he's got you guys down there sponsoring him, what's the name of that company? Something Duck that sponsored him. Hopefully he'll get more sponsorship from that. But as far
Well,
as everybody
James,
else,
I mean, one thing with PL, I mean, he is sponsored. You know, he's an EMP player.
no, because EMP is a development company. It's
Yeah,
not a
they're not a
sponsorship.
sponsor company.
Okay.
So what that means is he'll get you to the show, but he doesn't take the responsibility of being a sponsorship per se, like how a VVV was sending Rio and CD Jr. to whatever shows they wanted to go to.
Maybe that model nowadays is just not sustainable anymore. Obviously, VVV isn't really around anymore, and it's probably for that reason. Is it a sustainable model to expect a company to retain proceeds that would, you know, allow them
The
to
first
consistently
thing-
send people to tournaments?
Well, the problem is the first thing people got to understand is not one of these freaking companies, groups, or whatever you want to call them out there are companies. They're me turning around and go, Rolando, you're now OBS. I'm going to sponsor you. I'm the On Blast show. I'm not making no money by putting a shirt on you. I'm sending you to tournaments, and I'm not bringing nothing in. Now, you're representing my name, and you're getting me some views on my show, but I'm not benefiting. You know, and somewhere along the line, a blur has happened between online clans and sponsorship. You know, unless the company's turning around and saying, look, I'm going to give you $20,000 for the year and I'm going to fly you out to tournaments. That's a true sponsorship. And you have to represent my brand, my product in the best way you know how. That's what a sponsorship does. Even if you play, you know, like in the States, if you play softball, for example, you know, and you go and get a local bar to sponsor your team, that local bar wants you after every game to come into the bar and spend money on drinks.
Yeah.
Because that's how they regenerate their money. But the problem is, you know, too many of the younger generation are labeling themselves as professional gamers, and saying, you know, they expect sponsorship, and it's not coming. You know, esports as a whole, I mean, I hate the word because let's be realistic, gaming is not a sport. You know, it's an activity like checkers. You know, so it's not esports, it's, you know, e-activity or whatever the hell you want to call it. But I'm not denying the dexterity that's involved in playing games. But esports or MLGs and Evo, they pay money. You know, they pay good money. So if you turn around and you know, in fact, I believe Pig the Hut actually just got sponsored by somebody, and they actually, but they're a legitimized company. You know, they have products they sell. They market. You know, they market their products. They have their players have to hold themselves in a certain way. And basically, I don't want to get people's hopes up. You know, let's be realistic. Chase Bank, you know, Apple, they're not running around to sponsor gamers. You know, these major companies are not going to run around. You know, you look at a race car, and it's got Tide laundry detergent, Home Depot. It's got all these companies on it. Those are sponsorships. You know, and until
I'm
that
losing
starts,
James.
Yeah, James, we're losing you again.
Are you? Am I better?
Yeah.
Am I better? Better? Yes?
Yeah,
No?
I think you're better now.
Okay. You know, but basically, you know, what I'm saying is sponsorship is not going to come knocking down the door until this scene, A, matures up, cleans itself up, and can hold itself in a reputable way where, you know, companies can feel they can make profit. At the end of the day, I'm not sponsoring you because I like you. I'm sponsoring you because I'm hoping you can help market my products more. So you're not going to see, you know, a lot of these big companies coming down anytime soon. You know, I mean, you look at MLG, they got Dr. Pepper. They got, I don't know, Bic, Slick, whatever the razor blade is. You know, they got Mad Cats. But, you know, Dr. Pepper's not out there sponsoring players.
No,
they're sponsoring the
tournaments. Yeah.
Because they're saying, you know what? The tournament's going to turn people on, not the player. They don't want to worry that little Billy in you know, in the Skokies of Iowa is going to make top 2, top 1. They'd rather just say, hey, let's go to MLG and we're guaranteed to have our product marketed.
I think the players have to do a better job, and a lot of players then have to do a better job realizing that they need to show sponsors. I mean, like I say, I wouldn't mind sponsoring as part of the, as the president of VXG. I can put aside a budget and say, hey, I'm gonna try and get some of these Caribbean gamers to MLG, like we're gonna do it with Gross. But we also know that we need to benefit from this, and what are the benefits for someone like VXG? Okay, you got to convince your people that VXG is a tournament to go to. I see that in Gross, because Gross has ignited a hope in the thousands of gamers in the Dominican Republic that you can go abroad, save your money, go abroad, and come to a tournament and become something, just live your dream, which is being the best in a video game. So when the benefit is there and it's obvious, then there's opportunities for sponsorship. But I don't know how the average company in the US does it. I mean, our model for the entire VXG thing would never work in the US. We would never get government to support the event.
No.
Or a tourist entity to say that, hey, we're marketing the island. We're mostly being backed by the internet company and the tourism office here. Why? Because our island depends solely on tourism. And we are a vessel look, we're talking right here, right now. And people that have not known that St. Martin even existed before this conversation now know that St. Martin is an island in the Caribbean. And that's what this is all for. I think the end result is the gamers have to find a way to show the sponsors, hey, I'm going to show you that with me, I can get you more of what you want. I can get more people to buy your stick. So they should take the initiative, get their own website, do their own marketing. I could say, for example, like Empire Arcadia. We support Empire Arcadia because they came here. They stayed an extra week. They shot promotional videos for us. They did interviews. They did signings. They did autograph sessions. They even did, training with the gamers and stuff like that. So when the gamers show an organization, hey, we can do something to benefit you, not just, hey, we're going to sit down and wait for the airline ticket or wait for the hotel. That's when companies like us, the bigger organizations that have the funds, would support you. And that's why I applaud Empire Arcadia for being, for not just sitting down and waiting to be sponsored. They came to us and say, hey, we can do this for you. We can do that for you. And I would just tell gamers out there that if you want to be a true professional gamer, market yourself. Open up a marketing book, study marketing, and see what it's really about, and see why companies put marketing money into you, and then you'll find the model for success. That's my speech I give to all the gamers out there.
I agree with you. I mean, look, I break Triforce's balls on a non-stop basis, but you know what? Triforce is a stand-up guy. I just want to take that power glove off his hand and break it in front of him one day. But Triforce, where people kind of got, in our scene, got a little bitter or salty about his comments. What I want people to understand is he may not have been in this scene from day one, but he knows gaming. He knows competitive gaming. He knows how to market people. I mean, Justin Watt was marketed because of the way he put him out there. Now,
Exactly.
whether it's for better or for worse, and I basically call him the Black Ralph Cramden. Every time you watch The Honeymooners, he starts the episode off with some great ass scheme that he's gonna do. I'm gonna figure out a way to make $1 million, and then what winds up happening at the end of the show, he gets that wah moment, and it just doesn't work out. But he says, "At least I got my people around me," and I really wish it would work out for him. And I hope it does, and I hope he continues doing what he does. He definitely.
You said comments, not to cut you across, but before you move away far from that point, because you mentioned, okay, there's something or some things that he has said that kind of rubbed the community wrong. I mean, what are some of those things?
When he was on the mic after the whole Player One thing, and plus some of his comments when he was calling out the match about, when people should be punished, or when or there was opportunities where, something should have been punished, but it didn't happen, and he was kind of leaning towards the player one side advantage is the reasoning why. The people that are in this community know the game in and out. And, basically they were taking it as, not PL, but Triforce making excuses for the match the way it went. And they were also perceiving it because of the aftermath of his comments. The Capcom players were basically riding on his comments as saying, well,
Exactly. They didn't know what they were talking about. Like Micros and who was on the mic, Rolando? Was it Combo Fiend?
It was Combo Fiend and Mike Ross.
Combo Fiend. Okay, right. Okay, these are gamers with a really good reputation, right? So people would listen to what they have to say when really they don't know this game. So you have credibility in a field where you really shouldn't. So when Triforce was saying this player one advantage thing, they were just riding that and talking about it and hyping everybody on chat and making it seem like it was a big deal when really me and anybody else who knows this game would know that that had nothing at all to do with the fight. They were even saying that this game has no credibility because of player one advantage, which is complete bullshit.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, I mean, I said that myself. I said it, and I told the people in the MK9 forums I didn't want them to take offense to it. But I said, if the game is built in such a way that player one advantage dictates the winner pretty much, then it needs to be thrown in the garbage. I stand by what I say, because if that's the case, come on, guys, let's be real. If a game is 80% dictated by who's on player one, then that's a problem. You know what I mean? That's a huge problem. But and that's what I'm saying. As I got bigger, more into what really it's about, right away I pulled up my Google and I started checking out, and I realized, okay, that's not the case. What I would say though, because there was the streamer as well, Andre, who was actually commenting about it. I think he was the one who made most of the statements about the player one advantage being something much more major than it was. And I spoke to Andre about it, afterwards. Then the discussion continued with Triforce and stuff, which was kind of like we were all around the table, so the stream was able to hear our own kind of internal discussions of everything that was happening, even though the commentators were Mike Ross and Combo Fiend. I guess the mic picked up everything. And I mean, listen, it was a very heated moment. Like I said, it felt like half an hour, but it was like 3 or 4 minutes, and it was long and dragged out because we were all in a state of, wow, what is really happening here? Because I'll tell you what I was thinking. I'll tell you what I was thinking for me. I felt at the moment like it might be a lose-lose situation for me. Because as an organizer, if Perfect Legend wins, he only won because of the length of time, and there was confusion. Gross lost his momentum. If Perfect Legend loses, Gross only won because he had player one advantage. So for me, it was a mentally one of the worst situations I ever had, which was crazy because the day before I even had a crazy situation with the Street Fighter patch issue, with the mistake that we had with a few of the matches.
Oh, I heard that was a big fucking mess.
Not really, because they managed to figure it out and work out something. They what happened was that one of the PlayStations were unpatched, and they were using that for warm-ups, and apparently somehow one of the referees or something got confused and allowed players to actually play a tournament match on a was it an unpatched version or older version of the game, Rolando? He's not here.
Well, we just lost him. Hold on, it's reconnecting the call.
It's gonna try to reconnect him.
Well, I don't wanna say anything until he's here, because he would know exactly what happened.
I can say this though, while he's trying to reconnect, pretty much, being that I worked on the first three of these games, from working on these games, I could tell you this, whether it be input bugs, or whether it be, glitches that happen where people aren't happy. When you're writing millions of lines of code, some things like, let's be real, the input bug is there. It's very real. It's very annoying. but it's buried so deep in the code that a company is not that eager to. Let me re-add him. Actually, he just dropped off. They're not eager to dig that deep into the code. The reason they're not going to dig that deep into the code is out of fear. Programming basically, you fix one thing, you break two others. And, for something that it was so random, I mean, even the player one advantage, I am sure 100% it's actually attached to the input bug. But it's so deep in the code that to take it apart and recompile it and correct it, you might break 3 or 4